power that that has, the intelligence that that has, the clearance that that has, the access that that has, the influence that that has, the profile that that has, the international implications that...
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. If this is your first time here, welcome to my beauty entertainment channel. Absolutely. Alright, so if you would like to follow me on social media, here is my Instagram, my Twitter, and my TikTok. You can also check out my Patreon. I've been doing Vlogmas every day of December. So you can check those out. I post pretty much vlogs once a week, stream The Sims. Pretty much that's what's happening on the Patreon. We also recently read the Wicked book for December's book club, and we're currently picking our book for January. So if you'd like to join, make sure to check that out. Recent videos, right before this, I will have posted a video talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac. Before that, I posted a video talking about the Sims new releases, or like year of 2024. Sims Wrapped, basically. And then before that, I posted a video talking about some Let's Talk new releases that have happened over the past month-ish. So yeah, today we are going back to... Oh no, I posted Everyone is Bothering Me. That's actually what I posted after the Let's Talk new releases. So in spirit of the Everyone is Bothering Me and going back to my roots, I am going back to my roots with an Amanda's Favorite Things. So I make Amanda's Favorite Things, or I used to make Amanda's Favorite Things. I didn't last year, that's my complete bad. Of me talking about my favorite things about this year. In this video, I'll be talking about makeup, skincare, stationery, cat stuff, tech stuff. And then in another video, I'll be talking about music, movies, TV shows that I loved this year. But this video, I'm gonna be doing makeup and stationery, so I'm very excited. This look, I did this look, it's my look that I do in every single video. I did this in the Real Housewives of Potomac video. So if you wanna see how I got this look, you can go watch that video. I've had this topical silk salve for a long time, and I used it mostly as a lip balm. And today, for the first time, I'm using it like in a lip combo with my lip liner. And I think it looks cute. I think it looks cute. I just wanted to say. All right, we're first starting off with makeup. I'm gonna go through my makeup routine the way I do my makeup, and that's the order I'm gonna be going in. I'm gonna be putting all the products on the screen and linking them down below. I will first start off by saying my skin type is combination oily. I'm oily in my T-zone here and my upper lip, and my neck. Everywhere else is normal. I tend to go for more of like a medium coverage in my everyday makeup. Like, unless I'm doing something really, really fancy, I'm either wearing a tinted moisturizer or a pretty medium coverage foundation. I don't really tend to go for full coverage like that anymore. Just giving you, because you should always know this when you're getting makeup recommendations from someone, is like sort of there. I've been doing makeup for a long time. Been doing makeup since I was like 16 years old. I'm currently 24. What else? I tried a lot of makeup. So I know a lot about makeup, but I also am not a professional makeup artist. I work as a makeup artist, but I'm not a professional. I'm self-taught. So I think you should go to makeup artists, go to people who are professionals in order to learn more about yourself and your undertones to figure out how to do your makeup best. For like shade references, in NARS foundations, I'm the shade New Caledonia. What else? What are some common? In Danessa Myricks Tinted Moisturizer, I'm shade 14. In the Yummy Blurring Balm, I'm shade 9.5. So you can get some like skin tone references. This Pat McGrath foundation, I was about to say this is actually the wrong shade. Bought the wrong shade. Ooh, my bad. But let's get started. So we're first gonna start off with primers. Or should I start with skincare? No. We're gonna first start off with primers. So my first favorite primer of this year is absolutely the Danessa Myricks Water Powder Serum. This stuff, first of all, I use this every single time I do my makeup, and I have barely made a dent in it. And I've actually been doing my makeup considerably more this year than honestly every single year of med school prior. Like, I've done my makeup more times in the past 3 months than I think I did all of second year, which is really sad. That's how much second year took for me, but you know, we're survivors. This primer, really truly recommend. Oily skin girls, sweaty skin girls, this really is for you. It's very small, so you might look at it and be like, how much is this? It's a lot of money. but I have barely made a dent, and I use this every single time I use my foundation, and because you only need 3 drops. So I'd really recommend this if you're an oily skin girl. I put this in on my forehead and my chin and sort of like in this area. And then when it's time to get in the T-zone, the heavy hitter, my next favorite primer of this year is the One Size Oil Slicker. What is this called? Oil Slicker Extreme Mattifying Alkaline Primer. Girls, this is the tea right here. This is the tea right here. I had tried this One Size primer before, and it was only once, and I was not a really big fan of it. I don't even know why I still own it. I probably wanted to try it again and then just forgot about it. But this primer is so good. It also only requires literally a dime size amount is too much. Pea-sized amount, and I put it on my nose, in my T-zone, and on my forehead, and on my upper lip. You do, when you apply it, have to keep your face still. I try my best in my videos, but most of the time in my videos I'm not going anywhere, so I don't actually have to keep still. But if you're actually like going out, you need to keep still as you put the primer on. Keep your face perfectly still so it can dry down and not look kind of crazy. It does look crazy when you put it on, but I'm telling you, those are the primers of the year. Like those two, I actually could end the video right here. Those are the primers of the year. Of course, my Milk Hydro Grip Primer has been with me. I think, when did the Milk Hydro Grip Primer come out? It felt like it was 10 years ago. That is my tried and true, so I start with that. You can watch any video I've made in the past week. I'm using these 3 primers. Those primers, I would say if you were to pick one, I use both. I think these primers work really, really well together. The One Size is definitely more heavy duty, I would say. I use them both together. I already said it before, I think they work really well together. But if you were only buy one, if your like oil is like the bane of your existence, they're both gonna do a good job. It's just the One Size is more heavy duty. So if you want a more heavy duty primer, I would get the One Size. Next up, we have foundation. So first off, I have the Urban Decay the Face Bond Foundation. Urban Decay, I don't know. They were kind of cooking with gas this year. This is a very good foundation. This is a full coverage mattifying foundation. It comes in this really interesting little bottle. Ooh, it's a squeezy bottle, you know, fun. This packaging is very easy to travel with. It's very small. You only need a little amount. It is very full coverage. It is matte. I feel that it's matte, and it doesn't feel drying on my face, but I will also say I run oily, so like matte foundations are not really, the only matte foundation that felt truly drying on my skin was the Lancome Tanti Doll. But I love that foundation. I am the queen of mixing foundations. For a time period, like, let me think, from like 2016 to maybe 2020, I never not mixed my foundation. Every time I wore foundation out of the house, it was a mixed foundation. And this is my favorite foundation to mix with a a foundation like the next one I'm about to talk about. I love mixing the two of them because this can make your foundation last longer. They claim it's transfer proof, all the proof. I would say it's as close to transfer proof as you could get if you're somebody who is COVID conscious, which we should all be, and you wear makeup under your mask. This foundation, all the products I've talked about before, are also my like go-tos. I wear a mask every day, but like if I know I'm wearing makeup and I'm getting masked the whole night, this is incorporated to some degree because my face isn't gonna move. My face isn't gonna move, and I'm shade deep 33, deep neutral, and this, I love that foundation. Next foundation that I absolutely adore, you already know what it is. You already know what it is. This heavy hitter, another product if you're COVID conscious, that is really, because your makeup is going to transfer. You're wearing a mask, you're sweaty, it's hot under there, things are going to happen. But I found that these products help me like mitigate the sweating and the wetness and the humidity the best if I put this where I put the One Size primer, because that's usually where my makeup comes off first when I'm wearing a mask. This really helps. I recommend everyone to try this product at least once. It is so versatile. It can do whatever you want. This can be your foundation. I use it as a primer. I have the universal one. I actually have not tried that yet as a primer. Where is it located? We'll never know. It's probably in my room. I don't use a spatula thing. I pretty much just dip my brush in it. It gets kind of like gross, but it works so well. You can build it up from being super light coverage to super heavy coverage. I tend to use it with a much denser brush, so I get more coverage from it. But if you wanted to use it like a fluffy brush like this, you totally could. That's just not personally for me. The shade 9.5, if you are like me and you tried, I have 9 and I have 10 here, and I couldn't use either of them. They did not work for me. She has 9.5 now. Oh, is this a mirror? Is this a mirror? Maybe it's not a mirror. No, this is not a mirror. Anyways, love her down. Next up, this whole video might be danessa myricks. Danessa myricks, the Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. I use the shade 14. This is my everyday foundation. So skin tint is like a relative term. I don't think this is that tinty. And for me, somebody who's not like a skin tint person, the only skin tint that I liked really, I had to throw this away. This is years old. This, y'all remember her? This was the skin, these are, I feel like these are closer. They're not similar really at all, but in terms of coverage, I think you can get good coverage with this skin tint in the same way you could get good coverage with the skin tint. Because, you know, like, for example, like there are some skin tints where it's like, you're just putting water on yourself. Like, that's not, this gives you coverage, especially if you use it with, where'd it go? With this. These two together, I'm telling you, if you are a Black person who does makeup and you have not tried these two products, this is your responsibility for the new year. This is your responsibility for the new year, is to try these two products. If you don't like this one, you're gonna like this one. And if you don't like either of these, you're gonna like something here is for you. I haven't used this in a long time. This is her serum foundation, which is very full coverage and incredibly flawless. But like, I have a different foundation that I use for this purpose now, but it's still amazing. So if you haven't tried these two, you should try these two. I get good coverage with this. I get just enough coverage that I like. It's that light medium, like sort of sweet spot that I personally like for my everyday makeup looks. Like if I'm going out, for example, all my residency interviews, I was going for the no makeup look. This was the product that I used every single time. It lasts a long time. The color is gorgeous. The finish is gorgeous. I cannot speak highly enough about fucking danessa myricks. Like, I literally cannot. And then the next foundation and the last foundation of my favorite for this year is the Say Beauty. What is this foundation called? The Glowy Super Skin Foundation. I use the shade 29. So for my girls, my fellow oily girls who want the dewy girl look, this is I'm wearing it right now. This foundation reminds me a lot of the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation, but it actually lasts a lot longer. My issue with the NARS Natural Radiant Foundation is it doesn't last that long. I very frequently I had to mix it with my Fenty Beauty foundation, which I don't own anymore, but back when I did own that, I would mix that with the NARS foundation to make it last a little bit longer. This one lasts slightly longer and the finish is fucking stunning. Look at my face. I use this in my Potomac video. I also use this in my video talking about the Sims releases if you want to see it in action. It's a gorgeous finish. It is a very winter foundation. There's a reason why I'm talking about it now at the end of December, and I do not even look at this in June, July. This is not even looked at all. But this is a really good winter foundation. The shades are great. I love Say as a brand. I've been loving a lot of their stuff recently. So I would really recommend it. And the shade range is pretty good. The shade range is pretty good. They do have the stuff for us neutral girls. They do. Also, like the foundations that I mentioned do have a lot of shades for, not a lot because there's always going to be discrepancy, but do have shades for neutral girls because it's a struggle bus out here. Next up we have concealers. You already know what's coming. The House Labs concealer. I use this shade 43 medium deep, which is not medium deep golden, which is not my shade, but I only use it as a spot concealer. This concealer is so good as a spot concealer. It dries down relatively quickly and gives you full fucking coverage. Full fucking coverage. I'm in my spot concealing era. I don't know why I ever stopped. It's another way to make your makeup look so flawless without having to put on as much foundation. If you spot conceal and then you use the danessa myricks skin tint, you're gonna look like you just left a spot. I promise you. This excellent spot concealer. Next foundation that I really did love is from Say. Okay, so this is what I was, if you watch any of my videos, there's only 6 videos from this year, but if you watch them, I was probably using the Say Beauty concealer. It's really nice. My favorite thing about this concealer is the actual applicator. It is thick. I love a thick doe foot. I hate a skinny. Part of the reason why I cannot stand the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer is because that wand is terrible, guys. The wand is terrible. It gives you literally a droplet, a whisper, an imagination of product. What the fuck is that? This concealer is flawless. It's like a medium. I don't think you can really get full coverage with this concealer, because I use this the first half of the year. The second half of the year, the Pat McGrath concealer. I used to use this a lot, and then I put it down for a while. And then one day as I was using this, I was like, this actually reminds me a lot of this. So I picked this up to try this again. This is this big sister. The Pat McGrath is definitely much more full coverage version of this. This replaced my Rare Beauty concealer. I feel like that's a pretty good comparison to this. And if you want more coverage, just go for the Pat McGrath. But the Say Beauty concealer, the wand, I liked a lot better than the Rare Beauty concealer, and the consistency I liked better. I also just liked the coloring better of this. This is a little bit more red than I personally like it, but I mix it with the next concealer I'm about to tell you. Us neutral girls, we really have to make do with what we have because it's a lot of mixing. So you already know the next concealer. This is the Danessa Myricks Lift and Flex Concealer. Girls, this is in the shade 14, girls. The only thing I don't, it's so small. It is so small, but I use this again every single day. You can't even tell if this has been used. You don't need a lot. You don't need a lot. Because when I went in the store, because I went in the store the next day after it launched, because if I'm nothing, if I would have been Danessa stan, and I was like, Danessa, is this the mini? I was like, is this can't be. But it was, and it's still here. I bought this 6-7 months ago. This applicator is a little funky. She's a little different. She has a little divot, you know, a little divot, but she's cute. And the color is amazing, and I mix the two, and that's how I get a little bit more of like a neutral under eye. I'd rather my under eye be more golden than red. So I do put like a little bit more of this to make it. I prefer it to be golden personally than red. But those are my concealer standouts from this year. I do love a good concealer, but a lot of times when I find it a good concealer, like last year, I'm pretty sure I used the Rare Beauty concealer the entire year. I had been using that concealer for the past several years, and that is a really good concealer. But I just found these concealers to be better, and I like the coloring a lot better, and I really feel like my makeup looks really good. And so that's concealer. Next thing is contour. I only have one product to talk about. It's the Merit Beauty, what is this called? Bronze Balm in the shade Monarch, which is the only shade that I could use of this product. I had been using, prior to this, I started off with the Fenty Beauty Matchstick and Espresso Throwback Fenty Beauty Matchstick and Espresso, and then I switched to the Danessa Myricks Cream Bronzer, which is very good. I just did not like the process of using that product. I did not like having to like scrape it out onto the back of my, I didn't like that. With the Blurring Balm, I just don't do that. I just do it the gross way, but I prefer that way versus me. It just, like, that bronzer looks gross right now. This is a cute little stick, a gorgeous formula. This is a very like the Danessa Myricks cream bronzer. I would not recommend that to beginners. You can make your face look, it can go left really quickly. This is sheer enough where like this is a really beginner friendly product. It is sheer, but it is buildable, and it's very malleable. It's not going to stay like exactly where you put it, so even if you do mess up, it's it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world if you mess it up with this product. And the fit, like, it looks so good. And it's neutral. Yes, girls. Yes, girls. I did this for you. All right. The next product is not by me because it's currently in my purse. Is a powder. It is the Fenty Beauty Powder Foundation. If you follow me on TikTok, you've already heard me talk about how I had this foundation sitting in my makeup cart for the past several years and just never used it because I don't really use powder foundation like that. Now I do. I use a Sephora Beauty Micro Smooth, but I use this more as like a finishing powder. I don't really use powder foundation. And so I tried it one day after one of my interviews because I had to go somewhere and my glasses left an imprint, and I was like, I need to cover this up. I need a powder. And I saw that and I used it, and it looked like I was never wearing glasses. It looked like I was never wearing glasses. I use it on my upper lip, which is the first thing to go. I have a fan right here because my upper lip is the first thing to go when I film and when I go outside. couldn't even tell. This powder foundation, that's a fucking powder foundation. That is a powder foundation you carry in your purse. It's in my purse. It hasn't left my purse since that day. It will not leave. That is my touch-up powder, and I use the puff that comes with it. You don't need another puff. The shades, Fenty Beauty and like base shades, I don't think is their forte. Like, I don't think they really need to rework a lot of the shades. The only two products where the shades really do eat down, actually this skin tint and that powder foundation. That's a neutral. I think I'm shade 445. That's an actual neutral undertone, and I really like it, and I really do recommend it as a good touch-up powder. It's matte, but it's not suck your oil dry matte. Again, like I said in the beginning, I do have more oily skin, but it's definitely not sucker punch lemon squeeze drying. It's not. And I have never used it with a brush. I've literally only ever used it with it is only my powder. It's a touch up for me, and I recommend it for that purpose. I only use powder foundation for that purpose. I don't really use it as like a base. So I recommend it for that purpose, but I'm sure it will work for others as well. All right. Next up, what does this say? Okay, next up we have our blush category. So I have several things. We're first going to start off with, you already know what we're starting off with. Miss Danessa Myricks, her Yummy Skin. What is this actually called? Because it's not on here. Yummy Skin, probably Blurring Color Flush Balm is probably the name. So I have it in most shades. I got the holiday set. My favorite shades are Dancing Queen, which is like this deep, it's not showing up well on camera. It's a deep purple. It's not brown. It's a deep purple. I also am a big fan of Golden Hour, which is the orange. Love her. And then there's a pink that I love, Prima Donna. Those are my favorite shades. I also, in the holiday set, Spice Latte. I use this one. This is not for me. This is not for me personally, but I do like this shade of blush, but this is just not for me. This, again, if you take anything, if you are a Black person who wears makeup and you have not tried the Danessa Myricks products that I've mentioned in this video, like, and this is not sponsored. If Danessa sponsored me, I would die on the spot. This is not. This blush is so good. And I would say a cream, okay, here's the thing. Liquid blushes can be beginner friendly, like depending on how much pigment that they have. Like Juvia's Place liquid blushes are not beginner friendly. I would not recommend buying those for beginners. I would say these are more beginner friendly. So how I do with this is I kind of just like, I dip my finger in it and warm up the back of my hand. I'm more fine with like the finger grossness in this because it's less of a scrape, more of a rub. It's this gorgeous texture. It's really smooth. It feels like butter, and it blends like a dream. I personally use my fingers to apply blush. I haven't used a brush for cream / liquid blush. I don't really honestly think ever. I've been using my fingers the whole time, and the way it just warms up your skin. Today I have on Golden Hour. If you go watch my Potomac video, you can definitely see it in the light. It looks so good. If you are dark skinned and you have not tried this blush, Golden Hour, if you were to buy two, I would say Golden Hour and Dancing Queen. But also, like, what type of blush wearer are you? I recommend everyone try an orange blush at least once in their life, and I recommend everyone try a purple blush at least once in their life. I would get these two. If Danessa Myricks came out with powder blush, Danessa, I might just dump this whole cart out and start over, honestly, because I'm gonna recommend you like 4 different blushes. But if I were to say you buy one, I would say buy this one. The shades are good. The holiday set, if she's still selling it, is a really good deal. You get like 2 full size and then 2 minis, and they actually are all pretty nice colors and pretty cute. Yes, here they are from the holiday. I haven't tried this red one, but I have that, and basically it just came with another Dancing Queen, but I already owned it. So I just have it down here as an extra. I can't express to you how good these blushes are. They feel like velvet. They blend in beautifully. I would recommend these to beginners. You can definitely mess up with them, but all you have to do is take your finger and pat, or take your beauty blender and pat, and it's gonna go away. And the colors are absolutely stunning. If you haven't, every time I go into Sephora, my last stop is the Danessa Myricks Gone to Love, because I'm like, I'm saving the best for last, obviously. obviously. Okay, moving on. Blush. Another blush that I tried is this Haus Labs Color Fuse Glassy Blush Balm in the shade Glassy Tangelo. So I was in Sephora as I was just gallivanting, and I saw these blush sticks, and I saw this orange, and I saw a pink. I only ended up buying the orange because the pink wasn't in stock. This blush is a cute, this is very much a summer blush. I have not worn this since it's gotten cold outside. One, because I tried the danessa myricks blush and I prefer those more, but also this is a wetter blush. The danessa myricks one is more of like a satiny finish. This is wet. It looks great in the summer, very dewy, very wet, very moist. It doesn't dry down. Like, let me show you. Okay. You see, it's very glossy, very wet. It looks stunning and it's a gorgeous color on. It's just, I don't prefer to wear things like this in the winter personally. In the summer, like with a no makeup look, this eats so bad. You're gonna be radiating, glowing all over anywhere. Even wearing this without makeup, I don't know if I would do that, but I think it would look really, really good, really sheared out. And when it does blend out really, really easily, it does. Oh, I should have swatched the danessa myricks for you guys. Go look on the internet. That shit is amazing. It blends out really, really well, but it definitely is more wet, more dewy, and that's just not what I'm particularly going for in the winter, and I just think the danessa myricks ones are better. But I do like this product, and I do recommend this product. I just recommend danessa more, and that will be the theme of this blush section, honestly. Next up, I have the Haus Labs I actually recommend this product more than the blush stick. So I saw on TikTok, there was somebody who came on my For You page. I cannot remember her name. I'm gonna look and see if I can find it. And she was like, I have a blush combination for everyone. And she recommended the Haus Labs Color Fuse Blush in the shade French Rosette and the Rare Beauty Powder Blush in the shade Love. First of all, if you have not tried this blush, you don't need to go to the store. What I did is I went to the store and bought the combination. I don't think you need to do that. However, if you are given the opportunity, oh my God, there was foundation spilled all over in my bag. If you get I would go to Sephora and swatch them. I don't think you need to just, you don't need to blind buy it, because especially if you're not like a pinky mauve, not mauve, if you're not like a pinky blush girl, you're not gonna like it. But I would go to Sephora and at least swatch the two of them together. Once I did that, I was like, well, I'm purchasing it now. I was very much like, I am purchasing you now. You do not have to worry about me. It's stunning. If you go back, some of my videos from this year, pretty much before December, I was using this blush combination. It's gorgeous. This French Rosette shade, this powder blush is stunning. That shade, you're probably thinking, or you might be thinking, ugh, it looks stunning on, absolutely stunning on. And then this Rare Beauty, this is the Love shade. Watch. Oh, I'm not good at this medium ones of shit. Those two together, imagine, it's absolutely brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. These two together, it's like making magic. It's like making magic. And I would go and swatch it. I don't want you to blind buy anything. I would go and swatch it in the stores. And if this is your vibe for blush, like these like neutral, teeter like shades of brown, if that's your type of blush, one, I have another recommendation for you, but two, go try this out. Okay, so I've been doing a lot of interviews recently, no makeup, you know, trying to trick them and that I'm not wearing makeup, you know. I don't know if this is still sold. This is the Marina Beauty. I've owned this for a long time. This is the Blush Tarot palette, the Bronze Peach collection. I literally didn't even look to see if this is still sold. I hope it is, because I broke it, and I need a new one. This, I can't turn it over because it's all gonna spill. These two shades, so this shade is untouched. These two shades, this was I wore every single interview. These two, that chocolate, this middle one's a chocolate and this one's more like a terracotta color. If that's your vibe for blush, this palette is for you. But if you want a little bit more of a pinky element, these two. And if you want an orange, if you want an orange, danessa. That is the blush section of today. Absolutely stupendous. Look at my hand. Like, oh, let me swatch the danessa one. Look at my hand. Like, Okay, so that finger is dirty. So all I do is I take it and I warm it up on the back of my hand. Like, come on. That's the orange. I can't stand a shallow orange. I can't stand a boneless orange. Danessa will never give me boneless. It's always bone in with her. Look at my hand, guys. No, I have to go back to Sephora. I don't buy anything most of the times that I'm there. It's literally just for the thrill. It's just for the thrill of just seeing the makeup, swatching the makeup. I went a couple days ago. I don't know why I did that. It's so close to Christmas. That shit was packed. I had to leave. I had to leave. Oh, next up, I definitely did not do this in order. Highlighter, danessa myricks, Yummy Skin Glow Serum. That's it. There's no more to say. This is, I'm trying to think of because we all remember Cover FX drops. It's nothing like that. This is like, you know that Fenty Beauty like body glow? Remember that? If you watered that down and made it feel like, not the Milk Hydro Grip. The Milk Hydro Grip is a lot tackier than this. If you made it feel like a moisturizer, that would be this. I put this on my cheekbones, underneath my makeup. You can use it over makeup. Really universal product. And I use the shade Juice Boost. Incredible. Danessa, I love you dearly. Next up we have eyes. I don't have it here, but the Danessa Myricks Lightwork Palette. What did you think I was going to talk about? I use this to do a Dochi look. I use this to do a Wicked look. The palette is stunning. I have not used all of the shades in the palette as of yet, but I am going to put videos of me swatching it. It's not going to do it justice though. Like, it's not going to do it justice, and they don't have it in stores, so I don't know how to like convince you to buy it. You definitely don't need a $120 eyeshadow palette full of shimmers if that's not what you do. But if you're somebody who just likes playing with makeup and likes exploring your creativity through makeup, I would look at it. I think you can make whatever financial decision you need to make, but I would look at it because it's better than you think. Like, I saw it on TikTok, people using it, and I was like, I need that, and I knew I needed it, so I ordered it. When I got it in person, I was like, I didn't even know how much I needed this. And if you're anything like me, in your makeup collection, you own enough. You can buy a full shimmer eyeshadow palette. You have enough mattes. Because before I was like, I would have never ever bought an all shimmer eyeshadow palette. That was BDM before Danessa Myricks. That was that time period. We're in the new time period currently, and I really recommend it. The shadows feel like butter. The shimmer cannot be depicted accurately on camera. It cannot be depicted accurately on camera at all. Danessa Myricks, those color fixes. If Danessa, actually, let's just make this a what I want from Danessa Myricks video. I would like liquid eyeliner. I feel like you're the only person who can really do this justice. I would also, you do have some pencil liners. I would like more. And you know, Danessa, I would really like some lip liners. That's another thing that I really want from you. Your eye stuff is, because Danessa, the base is where the meat and potatoes are, but don't sleep on Danessa's eye stuff. Those color fixes, I only own 3 of them, and it's like playing with candy every single time I use them, because I've been really loving like a cute little demure fun eyeliner pop. I didn't stop wearing lashes, I just don't feel like putting them on every single time. So how I incorporate fun is like doing a little inner corner, blue, purple, green, and I always go for Danessa when it comes to that. So Danessa, can I have more? Can I have all the shades? All the shades, the metallic foil, and then hold on, where is it? Where is it? No. It's in my bag, and I forget what shade. It's one of those color fixes, but it's the gloss one, the pink gloss one. Guys, that, let me actually sit up straight. Let me sit up straight. That as a lip gloss is one of the most gorgeous colors I have ever seen in my entire life. 1, 2, the way it feels as a lip gloss is actually rather nice. And using it on the eye as an eye gloss, that is a universal product. That is a universal product. I haven't tried it on my cheeks yet, but I feel like I could. That, I'm gonna put a picture of it on the screen, so I'm literally not getting up to my purse to go get it. But that as a gloss, let me move on. let me move on. Next up, we have mascara. Like I said before, I haven't been wearing lashes as much, not because I don't like them, just because I literally don't feel like it. And I usually find one mascara and stick with it, and this was the one of this year. This is the Benefit Fan Fest mascara. Absolutely stunning. I have miniature lashes. This is the wand. It gets right deep in there. The black is gorgeous. It lasts a long time. I've never had issues with mascara running. That's never been an issue for me, so I definitely don't have this issue with this. It doesn't flake. It actually gets better as it gets older. Like, I love a kind of old mascara. I think the tackiness makes the lash. I love a clumpy lash look. Sue me. Great mascara. It's a mascara, but it's really good if you also have really small lashes. Next up, we have brows. I have been on a brow journey recently, and where this brow journey has led me, one is brow lamination. I get my brows laminated in tint. I was scared of the tint. And then my brow girl was like, no, Amanda, try it once. And I haven't gone back since then. It looks really interesting the first day. But then it looks great after that. Shout out to India. This product, she also put me on. This is a Benefit Precisely My Brow Wax. This is the tinted one. I use the shade 6. Why do I use the shade 6? I'm gonna try 4 next time. Anyway, I use the shade 6. I love a brow pen. I still love a brow pen. I can do my brows in 2 minutes. I use the Benefit Precisely My Brow in the shade 4.5. Where is it? It's right here. No, that's not it. Oh, well, she has been lost to the cause, but she's here somewhere. I use the Benefit Precisely My Brow in the shade 4.5 to outline my brows, and then I use this product just to go through. I go through the spoolie afterwards. Oh, before that I use ABH Brow Freeze, the pot. Brow Freeze pot is not the same as the Brow Freeze spoolie. I don't like the Brow Freeze spoolie. I love the Brow Freeze pot. This product changed the game for my brows, because if you go back and watch my videos from like 2021, 2022, I did the big bushy brows, but they really weren't defined. They weren't really defined. And so this year, how I wanted to update my brows was like still have that same like bushy sort of laminated quality, but have a little bit more structure to them. So bringing in the Benefit Precisely My Brow pencil in the shade 4.5, which is lighter. I prefer my brows to be lighter, which is kind of light, so I can outline and draw the definition with that. But then going in with this product in the brow to actually makes the hairs. This is not beginner friendly though. This is not beginner friendly. This is like the dip brow pomade. This is not beginner friendly. If you're a beginner, I would recommend the Precisely My Brow pencil, the regular pencil, or I would honestly recommend Benefit's Brow Micro Filling Pen. I really like this brow pen. It has 3 prongs instead of the common 1, and it makes making those hair-like strokes a lot easier to like actually be able to do. And this is more beginner friendly than I think other brow pens on the market. But another good drugstore dupe for a brow pen is the NYX Professional Brow Pen. This does only have 1 prong, but I compare this with the ABH Brow Pen, which I actually think is a really good brow pen. This is the only ABH brow product that I think I like slightly better than Benefit, but that's not beginner friendly. I would say for beginner friendly, Benefit Micro Pen, whatever it's called, or the NYX one. But if you're not a beginner at brows, I really would recommend trying this tinted Precisely My Brow Wax. My brows are so quick to do now, and they look really good. And try brow lamination. Or if you try brow lamination, try the tint. It might surprise you. It did for me. All right, last I think for makeup is lips. Lip liners, absolutely MAC Night Moth. If you also have been in the shackles of the brown lip combos, which are gorgeous, I'm wearing one right now, but you want to try something new, MAC Night Moth. I talked about it in a video as a tight line, and then using it as your lip liner. I'm telling you, just trust me, MAC Night Moth, just trust me. That's one. Another good lip liner that I do really like is the Miko one. It's a really good neutral. There's another one that I liked too. Matte Chestnut is always a classic. For actual like black eyeliners, did you know KVD Beauty has pencil ones? And this black, I've never seen a black like this. I have never, ever, let me show you. I have never, and it's retractable. Is that the word? And that I was barely fucking pressing it. Look. I'm barely pressing it. I'm barely pressing it. This is me actually pressing it. I love a good tight line. I love a good tight line. Those are my recs for like lip liners. The Fenty Beauty lip liner is good too. I just hate that it's not retractable. I like deeply resent that. And I also think Fenty Beauty should come out with more colors of lip liners. Fenty Beauty's lip liners only being this berry shades of beige and a red doesn't make much sense to me. But that's besides the point. Lip products. Ami Cole's lip oil. It's in my purse. Not getting up to get it. Ami Cole's lip oil. The REM Beauty lip oil, the Wicked one. So I've tried REM Beauty, not a lot of products, but this is one that I tried that I really, really, truly enjoyed. The thing is, I don't know, do all of her lip oils feel like this one? Because this one is actually stupendous. It has a pink tint. In case you didn't know, there's definitely a pink tint in this. I'm gonna put some on right now because I can. Because one time I didn't know, and I did my interview. By the end of the interview, my lips were pink. But it looks really good. Love her, and I love the applicator. Let me show you the applicator. This. I'm a gloss snob, and I have an unpopular lip gloss opinion. I don't know if I should say it. I have an unpopular lip gloss opinion, but as a lip gloss connoisseur, I know that I'm right. The Fenty Beauty gloss bombs are actually bottom tier lip glosses. I'm sorry. In terms of their colors are amazing. The actual product, the only ones that I think are worth a damn are the Heat collection. The Heat collection, those glosses are a lot better. I don't know why. I'm not a chemist, but I actually don't think they're very good lip glosses. I don't think they last a long time at all. The last time I bought one was Champ Stamp Fantasy, and I bought it because of the shade alone. It is so hard to find like a sheer enough champagne shade that's not ashy on black people. So I bought that, but I don't like those lip glosses. That's not my go-to. They're not my go-to. They do not last a long time. When they eventually go away, it feels like crumbles and crumbles and Pringle crumbles on your lips. There are better lip glosses out there. They're just not better shades. That's one thing Fenty Beauty has down packed is those shades. They're always gonna have creative lip gloss shades. Please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me. There's just the Ami. Have you tried the Ami Cole lip oil? I think you should try that. I think you should try that, and I think your life will be changed. It's not here. It's in my purse. I can't. If it's in my purse, that means it's out of this world. It hasn't left my purse. In fact, I'm running out. I actually need a new one because every time I go to Sephora, I look for it because I need to buy a new one. Never there. Never there, never will be there, never can be there. It's like I'm meant to suffer. So gonna probably have to order it online because I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting. Another lip gloss that I really did love, the Say Beauty. See how it's gone? The Say Beauty glossy bounce in the shade Kiss. I have not tried any other shade. I've only tried the shade Kiss. It's like a baby pink, basically completely sheer. Incredible. Look at this wand. Look at this wand. Gloss connoisseurs to the fucking front. Look how thick and juicy, and even being thick and juicy, the pointed tip. Masterclass. Masterclass in the proper wand for a lip gloss. It is not sticky, but it is high shine. High shine. That Ami Cole lip gloss, the lip oil, the shine is out of this world. And the Ami Cole wand is not as precise, but it's rounded, and we have bigger lips. You don't really need it to be super precise, but you're able to get good precision. Like the curvature, the angle is still precise enough where you're able to get like the little, what is that part of your philtrum? I don't think that's what it's called. Colloquially, but that, you're able to get that. So those are lip products. Next up, I'm gonna be talking about skincare. I am not an esthetician. I would like to say that first and foremost. Like, I don't That's not my forte, has never been my forte, but I do have like some skincare things that I really liked this year. First up is the Youth to the People. Is that what it's called? I'm not getting up to go get it. Or should I? I'm not getting out. The Youth to the People like glow serum. I'll put a picture of it. This, I was in Sephora with my friend and she was like, I really love this product. It really helped my skin. I don't know about helping, but my skin, not helping is, it definitely did help. The glow, I use it in the morning. I use it before I put on any makeup. The glow from within, it is a thick sort of serum, but I do use it in the morning. I use it before I put on my moisturizer and my sunscreen, and my skin looks really, really, really fucking good. You can tell, I can tell on the days that I didn't use it. Like, I'm like, I can tell. It's a gorgeous serum and it makes me really, really glowy. It's really, the purpose is just for glow, and like, that's all I really use it for. Next up, the Beauty by Hosen, I think, essence. I only recently started using this. So basically my skin gets not very used, but gets used to skincare products, not quickly, just like every year. So I have to switch something up. It's usually the essence, and the essence I have to switch up, because I was using the Fresh's essence. I was using that for a long time. And then I used a Kiehl's essence, and then my skin started to be like, okay, give me something else, give me something new. And this Beauty by Hosen essence is incredible. Incredible. Again, the same glowy, the same just like glow from within is what I'm really trying to go for with my skincare, and it really does achieve that quite well. Next, I have this. I've been talking about this product for years. The Topicals like ingrown hair serum. I cannot speak highly enough about this. I get really, really bad ingrowns, and this is the only thing that seems to curb them. I will say that recently it hasn't been, I don't know if they changed. Please don't change the ingredients. Like, please, I hope you guys didn't. It hasn't been working as well, but it still works better than anything else I've ever tried in my entire life. If you get ingrowns under the arms, in the mons pubis, in the vulva, I would really recommend this. It's a roller ball. It's really, really simple to use. It doesn't smell like anything. I really recommend this if you struggle with ingrown hairs. Next up is my favorite lotion that got me in trouble on TikTok, because I talk shit about the EOS lotion because it's not real lotion. My favorite lotion is a Eucerin lotion, Advanced Repair. The Intensive Repair I can't stand. It feels, I don't like the way that it feels. And then if you mix it with a little bit of the Salt Air oil, your skin will feel like a baby's butt all day. All fucking day. This is real grown woman lotion. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. All right, couple more things. Now we're into fragrance. I'm not a fragrance like connoisseur. Like, that's not me. I love a gourmand. I love marshmallow, vanilla, cookies, cream, sugar. That's my scent. I can't stand a floral. I can't stand a fresh scent. If that's what you like, just skip to the next part. Just skip to the next part, because you're not gonna like anything I have to say. First, the most recent perfume that I got, and my favorite new perfume, is a Sabrina Carpenter's, her new perfume that comes in the blue bottle. It smells like tiramisu, coffee, cake, cookies. It has a powdery base, which had to grow on me. I really like it has like the base, it just feels like baby powder, but in not a grandma old way. I think it's pretty, it's an elevated gourmand. One of my favorite perfumes of all time is a Billie Eilish perfume. That's one of my original favorites, the original one, not the second one. So just to give you, like my favorite type of perfume, so you know. Next up is this literally called a tiramisu perfume. I got it from Amazon. I saw it on TikTok, but I refused to buy anything from TikTok shop. So I just bought it on Amazon. Literally smells like tiramisu. I love tiramisu, and it smells like tiramisu, and it is incredible. Incredible. Next up, the Nest fragrances. Is it called? It's vanilla. What is this called actually? It basically, no, this is gonna piss me off. It's Nest. It's by Nest. It's vanilla something. No, that's a different brand. Nest fragrance. Vanilla bourbon. So it is that gourmand, but it has like I'm not good at perfumes, so I'm literally describing what it smells like to me. It has sort of like a woodsy musk, which I really appreciate. It's like a different taste, a different take on a traditional like vanilla, super creamy vanilla take on perfume. It has a little bit of like a sultry sort of element. That musk and it smells really fucking good. That was my perfume. That was my fall perfume. Right now I'm in my Sabrina Carpenter phase. That was my fall perfume, this vanilla bourbon. I bought the mini. I always buy minis first unless I can. Bought the mini first, ran through it, went back, bought the full size during the sale. Love the smell. And last perfume is the Milk Commodity perfume. Same thing, bought the mini, loved it. This one smells less like vanilla, more like cookies. More like just straight up, it smells like a bakery. But that's my goal in life, is to smell like a bakery. Like that's what I want out of my scent. And that's what I want everyone else to get out of my scent. And these things achieve my purpose. And I mix all of these. Okay, let me get it. It's Vanilla Madagascar. That rollerball, you know what I'm talking about. Vanilla Madagascar. The Nest Vanilla Madagascar perfume oil. I always mix all of these with that to always have, I need the vanilla base. I need the vanilla base, and it goes perfectly. What I need to find now is a peppermint perfume. That's what I need to find now. And you can throw rocks, throw tomatoes, do whatever you want. I love peppermint. I love the holiday season because I love peppermint so much. And peppermint does go with chocolate. Regular mint, yeah. But peppermint absolutely goes with chocolate. And so I typed vanilla into the search bar, and that pure perfume or fur perfume, I smelled that in the store. Okay, let me be completely fair. I smelled the fragrance mist. I did not smell the actual fragrance. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. That was not for me. Literally whatsoever. Next up is more like tech fun things that have really changed my life and I really, really love. First up is fans. I run hot, and I've always known that I've run hot, but I didn't realize how much I was impacting like my happiness and my mood. So I have a lot of fans. This is my home fan that is always around with me when I'm in the home. I have a fan that I keep in my purse, a mini fan, and I have a neck fan. These are worn year round. Don't care. They're amazing. I cannot recommend if you run hot, especially in the winter, because we have to be bundled up because it's so cold outside, but then it gets so hot. I recommend keeping a fan in your purse. My fan is this small. Have it from Amazon, like long, this small. Fits in every single purse I have, and I do not go anywhere without it, because believe me, one time my fan died when I was on the subway, and this was in like August. I don't want to go back to that time. I don't, so I don't. And I have 3 fans. Next up is, I'm not filming on it right now, but I film all my Patreon vlogs on it, is the DJ Osmo Pocket 3. I'm sure you've heard a lot about it. All of my Patreon videos are filmed on that, so if you want to like see the quality of it, you can check it out on my Patreon. My goal for myself was to kind of use vlogging as exposure therapy, about being perceived in public and like taking up space. That's really my goal for myself for 2025, is to take up as much space as possible, because for so long I tried to like shrink myself to make others happier, but we're not doing that anymore. We're not doing that anymore. And a part of my way of that, I decided, was like, I'm going to vlog. I'm going to do Vlogmas to force myself kind of to do it. And it really did work. And I think this camera definitely really did help. It's the camera can be this big. The camera can be the size of my phone. It can be bigger. There's accessories that can make it as long as possible. But I prefer to keep it pretty much this size. I usually only have, actually, Amanda, get up and get the camera. All right, I'm back. This is usually what my camera looks like. So, okay, the case that it usually comes in is a kind of clunky and kind of annoying to get stuff out of. So I got this really cute demure little number from Amazon. I also have the magnetic mount, which I'm sure you've seen on Amazon. Usually when I go outside, I will put the magnetic mount on. All of these accessories are compatible together. I can have this and the magnetic mount on at the same time. I am looking for a suction cup mount. So if you know a good suction cup mount for this camera, please let me know. I usually have this, so this can come off. This is an extra battery pack. This is how small the camera is. This is the camera by itself. This is my phone. I'm so serious. This is my phone. And the quality is insane for a camera this small. I usually have an extra battery pack on because it really doesn't make it that big. And it does come with a tripod, but it can be like pretty bulky and can't always fit in every purse. So I got this like little, I don't know what to call it, like a cup. And this is usually how I go out. I put it in my purse. move on with my day. I bought it. I didn't buy it when it was on sale. I'm not bitter about it, but I really am. I bought the creator combo. I recommend getting the creator combo. It comes with everything you need. It comes with the mic. I haven't actually used the mic. I think the mic quality on the camera itself is actually very, very good. And if you want to start vlogging, you want to start creating content, I think this is a really good investment. Because I originally bought this camera that I'm filming on right now, my Sony ZV-10 or whatever, to vlog. I don't know why the fuck I did that. This thing is so clunky. It's not a clunky camera, but like for me, and like I don't know who I thought I was carrying this camera around vlogging, I was so embarrassed to do it. I'm less embarrassed now, but this is a much more convenient way to vlog. This can fit in any purse. If I take this off right now, this can fit into like a club purse. Like this is the size of your phone. It can fit in whatever you need it to fit. If you needed a sign to get it, this is your sign to get it. I definitely think vlogging Vlogmas helped me so much in terms of like working this thing that I really wanted to work on, and like this thing that I wanted to work on for a while, and using it as a form of exposure therapy I think really helps, and this camera definitely helped me be able to do that for myself. So I'm very proud of myself, and I'm giving myself credit for actually doing Vlogmas and like sticking with it even though I was uncomfortable vlogging in public and it wasn't my favorite thing to do, but I did it because I'm proud of myself and my accomplishments, and I'm proud to take up space. Word to my therapist. Amen. All right, so I really recommend that. And the accessories that I use are pretty much this and the magnetic mount. And also this, because the tripod can get a little, because it doesn't stand up on its own without this. It can, it's just not secure, and this is an expensive camera, so I would want it to be secure. All right, next up are these headphones that I bought 2 days ago. I didn't know they had purple. And then I found out that they had purple, and so I bought them. I already had these headphones. I didn't buy the first pair. I won them in like a giveaway. They're good headphones. They're good headphones. If you have a lot of piercings, these are really the only headphones that won't squash the piercings. My Sony's squashed. I didn't have half these piercings that I do now, and my Sony's squashed those piercings, so I couldn't even put them on now. Love them. What else? I've been reading, first of all, the Kindle app on my phone. I use the Kindle app on my phone more than I do my actual Kindle. That was fun. I have a timer. You should bring timers into your life, like a physical timer. It's so cute, it's green. You should bring that into your life if you're also somebody who has like issues with time. Just having clocks and just having clocks around is really, really, really helpful. Also my laptop cover, that's one of my favorite things about 2024, is how gorgeous and stunning it is, and how perfect it is, and how it really encapsulates my personality perfectly. Love that. Next, I have this Aleve gel. If you know, you know. This is better than Icy Hot. This is infinitely better than Icy Hot, and infinitely better than Icy Hot. That's all I'll say on that. That's all I will say on that. Next, I have some clothes. I'm not gonna get up and show you now, but I recently bought Hanifa. I love you so much. This Hanifa sweater, which I wore when I went to the city to see the Barbie exhibit. Loved that. This Hanifa dress that I wore to a wedding. It's so stunning. It's so gorgeous. This Kai Collective coat, which I've only worn once, and I feel like that's a crime because this coat needs to be seen more. I need to go more places where I can show you guys this coat because it's absolutely fabulous. It's hot pink, and even though I'm a purple girl, I respect a good pink. I really do. All right. Next up is, I have 2 cats now, in case you didn't know. So next up is some cat stuff. The first one are these hanging toys, which I'll show, there'll be a clip in here. That's my cat's favorite toys, are like garbage, like actual garbage, like the plastic that comes off of pints of ice cream, hair ties, literal garbage, and these toys. They're very cutesy, very demure. They don't take up any amount of space, and they will have the time of their lives with these. They do come on Amazon. They come in a pack of 4, and you're probably like, why? Because it gets tattered, battered, broke, doke, everything. Oof, they get destroyed. So that's why it comes in a pack of 4. That's why it comes in a pack of 4, is because you will have to replace them over and over again. Zuko personally makes it his job. Every time I put a new one up, he will not leave the kitchen until he has defeated the toy. And by defeating the toy, I mean trying to drag it as far away from where it is tacked up on the wall as possible. Yeah. And then second cat thing is my litter robot. I love it. It has its issues. Like there was one time when it just wouldn't cycle, and so went on Reddit, learned that there's like this sensor which cat hair can get stuck in. Basically, to put like a piece of tape like in a very intricate position to fix it. Haven't had that issue since then. I don't want to scoop cat poop, so I don't have to scoop cat poop. I've had no other issues with it. I think it does. The weight thing is, I ignore that. It's not good at that. It is good at one thing, and that is cycling the poop. Every other feature, bell and whistle in it, ignore all of that. It's not doing any of that very well, but it does cycle the poop quite well. Quite well. And then I got this stroller for my cats. That's actually the very last thing. I got this stroller for my cats, take them on walks, take them on car rides. The stroller is actually pretty good. It does hold 2 cats very, very comfortably. What I have noticed about the stroller is that it like tilts forward because my cats like to sit more in the front. It does tilt a little bit now. So that just means I have to like purposely put them in the back when we first start the ride so it can stop tilting. But I think it's a good stroller. It comes off as a little carrier, as a little car seat, go right in the car. It's very easy to use. The wheels turn like butter, turn literally like butter. You can make a 15-point turn with the stroller. So I recommend this stroller because I was nervous. I was like, I couldn't tell if it would be able to fit both cats. My cats aren't very big, but I was still like, I want them to have breathing room, and they very much do. They very much do in the stroller, believe me. All right, last category is stationery. So one, I'm going to be talking about pens because what else would I be talking about? So I have this gel pen. I don't actually remember the brand of it, but I'm going to show me writing with it. Just actually be quiet. Just watch me write with this pen and tell me you don't want this pen. I'm not even like a gel black girly. Like gel black is not my go-to. I much prefer a ballpoint black over a gel black, but this quite literally might have converted me. I had to write a bunch of thank you notes recently, and I always reach for my ballpoint black, my Pentel RSVP 0.5. What? I'm reaching for a 0.7 black gel pen. Never in my life did I think I would have gotten to this point, but this pen absolutely converted me. Second up, more gel pens, Bic Gelosity. Just buy them. Just buy them. Just buy them. I have never seen such a vibrant green in my life, in my pen life. I have never seen, it's so hard to find those colors and actually have them be vibrant, and Bic had every single one of those pens is as vibrant as the shell around it. That pink is lethal. That pink is lethal. It's out. I ran it out. I took it to the hospital for like 4 months straight. It's done. It is really no competition. There's really no, it's not even fair. It's not even a fair fight at all. Like, it's literally just too good. It's literally just too good. And then, well, it's not a favorite yet because I literally haven't opened it, but I did get the Hobonichi planner. I got the Cousin and the Weeks. I haven't opened it yet. It's literally sitting right there. It delivered to my parents' house accidentally, so I had to go there for the holidays and get it. I haven't used it yet, but I'm going to include it in my 2024 favorites. I'm going to use it as a junk journal. And I have so many stickers. I have so many craft supplies. I don't need to even go to Michael's and get more craft supplies. I will, because it's what I was put on this earth to do. But I want to, my goal in the new year is to make my own stickers. I think that'd be really, really fun. And I think I'd have a good time doing it. And I have the time to now. I won't have the time to in a couple of months. But I will have time to. And I think that's it. Those are Amanda's favorites: makeup, skincare, tech, stationery, cats for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for my next one, which will be about movies, music, and television shows of this year that I loved. And yeah, let me know if you also tried any of these products, if you like them. Let me know what your favorites are in these categories. My favorite mask. This is my favorite mask. I'm gonna put it right here. This is I just buy them in packs of 100. I get them on Amazon. It's comfortable. The seal is good, and it's black, and it's like one of those boat style masks. It's very, very comfortable to wear. Like, I also personally take health over comfort, but this is also a very comfortable mask to wear. It is tight around the ears. If you wear it, like when I was like third year, because I was in the hospital every single day, I did get abrasions behind my ears. I will say back there is not comfortable. You're gonna want to put Aquaphor, Vaseline, whatever you gotta do, especially if you're gonna be wearing it every single day for like months, because that's what I had to do, but it's the most comfortable mask that I've honestly tried. So with that, the 2024 season comes to an end. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. What are your favorites for this year? Definitely stay safe and continue to mask up. Want to keep each other safe and healthy, please. But thank you guys so much for watching. Check out some of my recent videos, and here's a link again to all of my social media. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.